Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our episode 2 reaction for James Charles as Instant Influencer. And congratulations! It's only taken 2 episodes for me to be upset about an elimination. So we're here. It is just like every other reality show on television that way.
Yep, when you lose people that you're like, man, this guy can win. Nope.
No, I still think he can win. There's always that like irrationality that exists in your head on shows like this where you convince yourself that somehow they're going to still win even though they've already been eliminated. I've done this on at least like 3 different seasons of Survivor without like some sort of twist in there.
Some sort of battle back.
Yeah, there's probably no battle back on Instant Influencer when you only start with 6 people and it is a really short show. But hey, we can all dream. We'll get through this together. Anyway, if you guys do like this video and discussion, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. Where did Indigo go wrong? What did he do?
It all started with the pink wig. Like, there was the battle for the pink wig. He had to have it. He had to take it from Benny. It had to be the thing. And then boom, downfall. No, I'm kidding. I just think that there wasn't enough really going on there. Like, I love the little Band-Aid on the nose for all you Borderlands fans out there. It reminded me a lot of Tiny Tina, who, is iconic to that game. It was just, I felt there wasn't like enough going on, because then when you see somebody like Ashley come out, as soon as she came out, I was like, okay, she's won this. There's no way that this is going to be anyone else winning this except for Ashley. I understand the comparisons to Avatar, but it makes no difference. That makeup was so good and so just insanely big and outrageous and gorgeous. There was just no way. So when you kind of compare what Ashley did with what Indigo did, I was just kind of like, okay, he kind of just didn't push it harder than anyone else.
I think Indigo didn't push it as hard as some other people, but I will become the possibly irrational Indigo defender for the next few minutes here, because I've already declared him as my champion in episode 1, so I have to stay consistent. I like the hustle with the pink wig first and foremost. You get what you want. That is the name of this game.
It is.
He decided he wanted it. He got it. And I love the Band-Aid, the bandage on the nose. Yeah. I loved the idea of the look. I feel like conceptually he had a stronger vision as to what he was doing than I would at least say he had a stronger vision than at least 2 of the people who ended up going through. I think he didn't have as much, I guess, content there as some other people, but I like to think that cumulative performance matters, and I think that cumulatively we saw more with Indigo than with Gabriel, who had already been in danger in episode 1. It just seemed like, though, the moment that Indigo goes up there and speaks to the judges and he starts to get emotional, it's just like, okay, you guys are probably setting him up for an elimination, and then I'm going to have to deal with this sadness now. Thank you so much.
The thing is just, I agree that a cumulative performance, and there isn't a lot. There was only 1 episode before. But I mean, Indigo is insanely talented. And for most other shows, when it comes to competition stuff, like Ink Master or anything else, you do take that into consideration. It's not just like, what have you done for me lately? It's, well, what have you done throughout this competition? Is this just one little stumble? Is there more to you? Are we going to see more from someone else? I mean, I went into this episode sort of thinking that Gabriel was going to be the person going home. I had just seen, he played a little bit safe in the first episode. They weren't that crazy about his cat look in this episode. So I really thought that was it and that he was done. So it was a bit of a surprise.
I've already made this clear, I think, in the premiere video that me giving takes on people's makeup application would be really, really bad. It would be like a race car driver coming in here and telling me how to play Final Fantasy. There's no correlation. So I just feel like I have to focus more on what I think in terms of ideas and creatives. And I felt like whether it was Gabriel, and I'll even put Kaylin in here as well. I don't actually have a great vision as what the two of them were specifically going for. I felt like I did have that more from Indigo. Maybe the application wasn't as great, but I think vision does matter in the sense of, are you able to carry through exactly what you're trying to sell your audience? Because if you're on YouTube, people often have very short attention spans, and you have to be able to sort of make a very quick sort of note as to, this is what I'm doing, this is my presentation of it.
The thing that I was the most surprised about, but pleasantly surprised about, was that even though Benny didn't get that pink wig, that he still went with the same idea and look. Because knowing that Indigo was going to go in that same direction with sort of the pinks and the glitters and the whatever, do you then also want to be next person with pink and glitters and whatever? Or do you want to try to then think about something else and move it in a different direction and save that look that you were going to use for the next time that you need to come up with something that's more of a pink and doll like, and because I mean that is a look that can come up again. So at first I was a little bit nervous when I saw Benny pick that blondish wig. He's like, oh, and I'm gonna add pink to it and kind of put it up in these, you know, almost like he made that wig into the same wig. I was getting a little bit worried for him, but he did a really cool job. I liked that he worked with his own face, where he knows what it does. He knows he gets watery eyes. So he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go with it. If this is what's happening, this is where we're going. And I think that's really important, because you never know what's going to happen with your makeup, what's going to sit right, what's not going to sit right. It's kind of like when you have a bad hair day, bad clothes day, bad makeup day. You just go with the flow. And for such a young guy, he's really good at knowing himself and knowing his face and how it works.
I got so much respect for Benny in this episode. I mean, maybe some of this is, I also have really watery eyes, and so I know what that is sort of like, where you're in the middle of doing something, and then it just starts pouring out of your face, and you're like, what do I do? Do I go up and try to, get a rag to try to make it better? Do I just let it play out, and hopefully it gets better on its own, which I have done? And I feel a lot for him with that. I think he pulled off the look very well. I thought the neon was kind of a cool little, I'm going to make sure that I have a sort of backup plan, a way to cover some of this.
Yeah.
I do think in general there was a lot of pink sort of across the board. It was a little monochromatic. If I was a contestant on this show, which, let's be clear, would never happen given my skill set here, I would have gone completely opposite of everyone. I would have done like full zombie skeleton drag queen with like dark tones and undead stuff and gone really creepy and interesting. It would have popped. I don't think it would have been good, but it would have popped.
Yeah, I would have probably gone into this competition with a couple different ideas. I mean, you got to have just a few tricks in your bag of creativity of like, okay, they could throw this at me. They could throw this at me. The idea that you're going to have a makeup competition and you're not going to have a drag, part of the competition, or you're not going to bring in someone like Trixie Mattel, which was like super cool to see on the show. You got to know that this is probably coming, because I mean, drag makeup, it's so iconic and it's so important and it's such a huge part of the industry. They're going to throw that at you. So maybe have 2 or 3 looks, and then when you see what everyone else is picking up and you're like, oh, pink, 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 I'm going to pick maybe something else.
Yeah, I think that's why...
Maybe I'll work with lavenders or something else.
That's why Ashley, I think, did so well. She sort of zigged where everyone else zagged, and everyone else went the other way. And this may be the closest thing we get to Avatar until Avatar 2 comes out in 2050. So I think we need to appreciate what Ashley is bringing to the table here. It was complicated. I will have to say, it would have taken me approximately 75 hours to get that color all over my face, to get all the decorations that were there. It was elaborate. Really good episode for Ashley, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley, after this episode, Ashley is my pick to win, and it's not even close. Like, she's just another world when it comes to makeup. Like, it wasn't close in this episode for me. As soon as I saw her look and I saw her standing up there with everyone else, I was like, no, it's no.
Yeah,
just give Ashley the prize and send everybody on their way.
Give Ashley the you win this episode prize of congratulations, you get to be the first person to leave this little studio room we put you in. That is the only prize you get for winning.
But we did see that James Charles is continuing to deliver the bad news and then proceed to be like, let's sign off. So that happened, but Indigo handled it a little bit better than what happened with Brittany, where she was kind of looking like on the verge of tears and being like, goodbye. It's like,
It reminded me, I didn't say this in the premiere reaction, it reminded me so much of this, like, one time I was at Disney World when I was a kid, and I was taking a picture with Mickey Mouse, and I wasn't really ready, and Mickey Mouse kept just trying to, like, force me into the position for the picture. It was sort of like, James Charles is, like, Mickey Mousing her at this given moment to try to make her be ready at this very second, and I still don't really love that. I will tell you one thing I did love about the production of this episode. When James went to wake the people up in the early going, you know, on 90% of reality shows, they're like magically ready and prepared, almost as though someone has told them in advance that this is happening. Nope, not here.
No, it's just like, I'm in my underwear. Yeah, that's right. That's the way it should be. It's 5 a.m.
Yeah, I like the spontaneity of it. I do wish we kind of got out of the studio a little bit more with some of this. I feel like we're spending a lot of time in kind of this space that feels... It just doesn't feel to have the same energy as James or the judges or anybody who's on the show. But I get it. It's a YouTube show. It's only a few episodes. They're kind of
they want to
experimenting.
have it in the YouTube studios. So, I mean, it all makes sense. But I will say that having Trixie there was really cool, because I've already expressed how much I like Norvina on this panel. James is doing a great job. He is, you know, growing into it more and more with every episode. He's able to handle this show really well as a host. And then you've got Trixie, who's just completely so entertaining on YouTube, and she was entertaining here too. So, I mean, this was a good panel. I really liked it.
Yeah, I think it achieved what this show really needs to achieve, which is real advice on the subject matter as opposed to whether or not you just look cute, aka the Paris Hilton strategy of judging.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this in the reaction from the premiere, and we'll link that below. But yeah, that was one of our critiques, is as much as we like Paris, as much as I like Paris, and I like her a lot, you know, I like your jacket is not really enough of a critique. I needed more, and all three judges gave me a lot more.
The panel was better. I think the challenge was just better. I think a drag challenge is great because it gives them time to create something that is really elaborate and individualistic, and also sort of play a character and attach that to it. And as someone who doesn't know makeup all that well, I can understand and comment on that more than here, try to sell this product that does this one particular thing. But I think a show like this, it is kind of based on what you're really coming into it wanting to see.
Yeah, because I mean, I understand that influencers out there are going to sell product. I mean, it just is part of the landscape, whether you're on Instagram or you're on YouTube or Twitter, wherever you are. It does seem to be you're going to get a sponsorship of ABC and you're going to sell ABC. But it was definitely a different episode, because this really did focus more on sort of selling yourself, selling your skill, your makeup skill, where the first one was more about, you know, this mascara company wants you to sell their mascara, go make a commercial for it, kind of thing, which is, to me, a much smaller part of being an influencer. I think it's more about selling yourself as a person and making those connections with people, whether it is through your pictures on Instagram or here on YouTube, and just more organic. Like, if you're going to sell something, it's got to be something that really makes sense, because all too often we have seen Instagrammers and YouTubers that will sell anything, and you're just kind of like, really? Is this person selling me a cheese wheel? I don't get this. What's the connection?
And now, let me tell you all about a way to have really long and luscious locks of hair. I'm going to be your hair care salesperson right here, I'm kidding. Okay, well...
Code Matt.
Anyway, yeah, enter the code Matt, and you will get absolutely nothing other than wasting 5 seconds of your time. But, alright. Well, let's just turn this over to you guys. What did you think about Instant Influencer Episode 2? Who are you rooting for? Are you crushed in your soul like I am over the loss of Indigo? Let us know in the comments, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and if you do want to support us more, check the link in the description to the store, and we'll see you here next time.